It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Good evening, sports fans. This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith. Tonight, it'll be the San Antonio Spurs up against the Houston Rockets. Taking a look at the Rockets, they're up there in third place in the Western Conference, very close to the position they were in when last season came to a close. In tonight's game, Carmelo Anthony, one of the top scorers in the history of the NBA.
History?
Yeah.
Wow, that's right. That's right.
No,
that's right.
Deep into his 30s now. Mm-hmm. And for him, Kenny, it's become about trying to win an NBA title.
Yeah, because he's got the gold medals. He's got the double-digit All-Star appearances and a scoring title. But what he has not attained is the ultimate goal of getting the ring.
You know, he's put up some Hall of Fame numbers, and at this point, he just wants to win.
I agree.
Yeah. And what are his chances?
Doesn't matter because he'll never surpass us. We have 6 rings up here, Ernie.
Wow.
4, 2, and 0. That's 6.
You have such a great way of putting things.
Yeah, you didn't have to call Ernest out.
I didn't call him out. I just said we as a team, we have 6 rings.
That's true.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to say 4, 2, and 0.
Okay.
You just say we have 6 rings up here at this desk.
We have
Got
6
it.
rings.
6 rings at this
2
desk.
over here.
4 over there.
0. But it makes 6.
We're still champions, Ernie.
We're
My
still
self-esteem is taking a beating today.
That's all right.
We used to
Taking
get
a beating.
We used to get Emmys until
Taking a beating.
But Emmys.
No,
Emmys
no.
counts
Yeah.
as rings.
We used to get a lot of Emmys until
Oh, let's let it go.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.
On the floor for this new San Antonio Spurs. At power forward, Davis Bertans. At center, Pau Gasol. At point guard, Eric Bledsoe. At the other forward position, Chris Middleton. At the other guard position, DeMar DeRozan. The head coach of the visiting team is Greg Popovich. Let's meet your Houston Rockets. Starting at power forward, 6 feet 10 inches, number 0, Marquise Chris. The other forward position, standing 6'8", number 7, Carmelo Anthony. Starting at center, 6 feet 10 inches, number 15, Clint Capella. Starting at point, 6'0", number 3, Chris Paul. And starting at guard, number 13, James Harden. Your head coach is Mike D'Antoni. Let's hear it for your Houston Rockets.
We've got NBA basketball in store for you here in Houston, Texas, the home of the Rockets, live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side, Chris Webber and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. The Houston Rockets coming to this one after a win against the Heat in Miami. Guys, kind of a battle there. They pulled out a 4-point win, though.
And anytime you come off the bench, you know your role, and that night, it was about scoring.
Well, on the road, you need as many contributors as you can find. The reserves definitely helped fuel the win that time.
Tip-off goes to Houston. A look at the San Antonio Spurs opening lineup. They've got Bledsoe. He's out there with DeRozan. Pau Gasol is out there with Chris Middleton, and it's Bertans in at the 4 spot. Now here's Paul over Bledsoe, and off there. He misses his first shot of the night. Well, with Kawhi Leonard gone, a new era for the Spurs. Even with the addition of DeMar DeRozan, San Antonio looks to be entering their most significant rebuild in decades.
Yeah, but at least they were able to get a star in DeRozan. Now, I would call it more of a reload than a rebuild for the Spurs. Still a lot of talent to work with on that roster.
Good on the shot.
I've seen Paul make about 1 million of those passes over his career and never gets old.
Paul against Bledsoe. First quarter of play, 1 minute played, and there's a whistle that's going to go on James Harden. That is his first foul of the game. So it's San Antonio now. Bledsoe outside. Gasol kicks to Middleton. 5 to shoot. The Spurs need to get a shot off here.
The mobility and reach of Capella is just outstanding. He uses it so well on the defensive end.
Now let's send it down to David Aldridge, who was able to talk with Greg Popovich.
Well, Kevin, we talked at length about how they plan to contain this excellent offense. He said, you know, our opponent changes, but our principles stay constant. It's about denying high percentage shots and layups and open threes. If we can make them shoot contested jumpers, and they make them, we'll tip our caps to them. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks as always, David. Well, they know what their toughest job is going to be today.
Yeah, Kevin, it's always hard to go up against a team that can light it up like this. You can't let them hit the ground running.
Yeah, easier to say than do. I mean, with the weapons they have, they force such tough matchups. It's hard to stay with them.
Here's Bledsoe, following the score by Houston. Back to Gasol. Shoots over Capella. Second chance shot. Doesn't go that time. The Rockets go the other way with it. Victory eluded them last time in San Antonio when they took on the Spurs.
And that was a shocker. Hard to believe that they dropped the ball, so to speak, on that one, and probably a tough pill for them to swallow.
Well, it's just a reminder that nothing comes easy in the NBA. I don't care who you're facing. You're not going to win if you're not at your best.
Here's Anthony, following the score by DeMar DeRozan. And Anthony gets it to go. Anthony's got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, just superb focus there from Melo, overpowering the D and still finishes.
Bledsoe kicks to DeRozan. Over Green. And it's DeRozan missing.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
Such quickness on the attack. Paul showing no fear driving in. He forces the issue every time.
As you talk about IQ for the game, skill and competitive desire, few can rival Chris Paul.
Well, his buddies LeBron and Wade tease him about having a Napoleon complex. But whatever the reason, his motivation and perfection, it's impossible to mistake.
And that one falls for Paul.
He's a proven winner. I mean, it's easy to appreciate the skill set of Paul, a masterful shooter and a clever defender.
And so Paul nails both of them.
I mean, and you look at Chris Paul, he didn't play in the last 2 All-Star games, but he's a top 15 player in this league.
DeRozan finds Gasol. Bledsoe looking it over. Pass to Bertans. In the corner, Middleton with it. Good on the triple. Middleton's got himself on the board with 3 there. And Chris Paul, all-NBA first or second team just about every single season. And perennial first-team all-defense.
But get this, only 3 point guards in league history have averaged 18 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals for an entire season. Russell Westbrook, he did it once, Isaiah twice, and Chris Paul 5 times.
And here's Bledsoe following the 3 from Chris Paul. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
Looking now at the numbers for Middleton. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's right around 9 points a night, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Solid numbers, the kind of production we expect. And frankly, I think he's got another level to take it to.
Yeah, think about this. He definitely has the skill set to put up even bigger numbers. It wouldn't be a surprise to see that in the coming days.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Inside. Here's DeRozan. Solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting calls, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, he's a guy who can carry you for stretches, long stretches in this game. You want to get him involved early and often.
Spurs trail by 7. The shot by Bledsoe. Nobody around. And the 3 off target. Green against DeRozan. And Green gets it to go. Green's got his first bucket of the night.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Here's DeRozan. Terrific assist, a nice finish. Solid play all around. Houston leading by 7. Green deciding where to go with it. Lets a floater go, and he sinks the layup. Green's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Oh, look at the soft touch on the teardrop.
And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Gasol with it. A 14-point game for him in the win against Minnesota. For 3, Bledsoe.
Such a smart defensive player. Paul in perfect position to bother the shooter.
From deep, Green. And it's Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got 4 rebounds in this game. Middleton the pass to Bledsoe. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
Knight's checked in for Houston. Bledsoe against Knight. 6 to shoot. And it's DeRozan missing.
The D a little slow to get in his face. They're fortunate it didn't cost him.
Anthony kicks to Knight. Anthony looking it over. Back to Knight over Bledsoe. And Brandon Knight the bucket on the assist by Anthony. Knight's got his first points of the game.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. And 6'10" forward Marquise Chris, the 8th overall pick in 2016 out of the University of Washington.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, it was almost like he took a step back in year 2. The guy's an athletic pogo stick, but you're going to need more than just size and leaping ability if you want to succeed in this league.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Pirtle, he is checked in for Gasol. Bellinelli comes in for Chris Middleton. And it's Mills in for Eric Bledsoe. Now here is Pirtle. Launches a 3, and Patrick Mills gets the 3. Mills has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Knight dishes to Anthony. And it's Green with the jam.
Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
And it's happening at both ends, trying to end this thing before it begins.
And that Unleash Chaos replay presented by Under Armour. Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive that exciting play. And the Spurs with possession here. The Rockets making the shot. Pulls from the top of the key. Mills can't hit. And so Green will bring it up for Houston. It's a 10-point game. Capella trying to free himself up. Second shot opportunity. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint. Well, at the start of the summer, many expected a busy market for Capella in free agency. Eventually, though, signing a 4-year deal to remain with the Rockets. I feel like it's a great deal for Houston as Capella gives them the perfect inside presence to complement Harden and Paul.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Nene, he's checked in for Chris. P.J. Tucker comes in for Anthony. And it's Ennis in for Green.
One shot, gentlemen.
And that one misses. You know, Chris, parity, always a question, in this league and how you try to get teams to advance. But over a long season, it seems like any team can surprise you on any given night.
Yeah. Almost every team has the talent that can beat you, especially in a one game. You must respect your opponent. Sometimes it can come down to schemes, coaching. Sometimes it can come down to just one bad shot. You can never underestimate motivation as a factor. And that's where the good teams separate themselves. Who can continue to have that same focus every night? And in the words of Coach Popovich, that appropriate fear of your opponent.
It's stolen by Capella. Here's Knight. He's coming off a 10-point game against Miami. For the three. The shot, no good. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Really an intimidating style of defense. I mean, they challenged everything at the rim, and that led them to victory.
That was a big-time block party. Even several shots they didn't even get a hand on were effective.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, particularly on offense, where they've been completely in sync. Terrific first quarter.
Now, here's Bellinelli. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And off target as he starts the game 0 for 1. And Tucker kicks to Ennis. Whistle blows, bucket is good, and he'll have a chance at the line to make it a 3-point play.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up a little more sense of urgency.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
One shot.
Free throw drops for Ennis.
Well, a high-octane offense in Houston, that's been a staple for any of Mike D'Antoni's teams. The Rockets, they do it a little differently. ISO ball, half court, threes, get out and run. They get buckets.
Now here is Pirtle. Passes it to Mills. Shoots. San Antonio again missing. And the Rockets last season, second in the league in 2-point percentage, but Chris last in the league in 2-point attempts.
Can you believe it? I mean, they shot more threes than twos, actually. That's crazy. I mean, you might say, well, take it inside. But the Rockets are looking at points per shot. By that metric, they're threes neck and neck with the twos.
Here's Walker, following the three by Houston that went in. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
San Antonio calls timeout.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Ooh, this is ugly. No question about it. And you wonder if these matchups aren't favoring them right now.
And where the shots been coming from tonight? Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and 3-point shot attempts so far for the Spurs.
And they've really shied away from the mid-range. That's a new school style, and looking for shots beyond the arc and at the rim, those tend to be far more efficient.
Here's Bertans. Turned in an outstanding game against Minnesota. Pass to Bellinelli. He kicks to Pirtle. There's the pass to Mills. Good on the triple. Mills has got 6 points.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
A lot of times your defense is your offense is your defense. This is poor decision-making right here. You can't let him have that shot. Also might have been a lack of effort.
Now, here is Knight. Can't connect from 13 feet out. There's 1:38 left in the first quarter. Pass to Bellinelli. Kicks it to Pirtle. Pass to Mills. Launches a three. It's rebounded by Houston.
He's not the only one to blame for them being behind, but he hasn't helped their cause much.
Now Tucker. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Heat in Miami.
Now, don't forget his rebounding work, too. They couldn't contain him on the glass.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
Bertans passes to Bellinelli. Here's Walker. The dish to Mills. Back to Walker. Pass to Mills. Shoots the three. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. Rockets leading by 14. Knight looking for an opening. Tucker finds Knight. No good off the back of the rim.
He keeps battling, but so far this quarter, he hasn't been able to get it going.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Seconds left, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
That's his first personal foul. 2 shots, gentlemen. 2.
Houston shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Knight taking 2 shots.
2 shots.
First one falls for him. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And at the line, it's all about consistency with him. His routine, his stroke, it never wavers.
And as we conclude the first quarter, a one-sided game so far. Rockets lead by 16. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. And now, in a different stage of his career, Carmelo Anthony adjusting to a new role on this team.
We all had to accept whatever the role is for each individual. And I think it started with me to just accept that role and ask the guys, what do you need from me? Ask Coach, what do you need from me? And be able to go out there and accept that and deliver that.
And that adjustment, Greg, not without hiccups for a lot of star players.
No doubt. It can be difficult to accept a diminished role, but if Melo is going to finally win a title, I think it'll have to be as more of a secondary player.
And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And quite a position here for the Rockets to be in. What do you think, guys?
I mean, a solid first quarter, especially looking at that plus turnover ratio.
Yeah, aggressive on D, efficient on offense. They balled out to an early lead.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So on the floor for Houston, the engine of this team, Paul and Harden in the backcourt. Nene is out there with P.J. Tucker, and it's Ennis in at the 3. Here's Paul, following the bucket by the Spurs. Harden outside. Shoots over Pirtle. Not enough on that one as it misses.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Well, not all defenses are constructed to protect the mid-range area. Nicely done that time.
Now here's Mills. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Minnesota. It'll go. The Rocket lead is cut down to 12 on the bucket from Bellinelli.
Oh, man, it's great to see Bellinelli working that mid-range jumper. Defenses have to be more wary of him from there, given his sweet stroke.
Now here's Harden. He's covered closely.
And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. And with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one. And James Harden was crowned MVP after last season. Greg, hard to argue with that selection.
Harden has had a case to win an MVP award for several years now. Finally was able to be the clear choice this past season. Another great line on what is shaping up to be a Hall-worthy resume.
Nene down low. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Marco Bellinelli. That is his first foul of the game for the Rockets. Marquise Chris, he's checked in for Nene. Anthony comes in for P.J. Tucker. And it's Gerald Green in for James Ennis. Pau Gasol's checked in for San Antonio. Chris Middleton comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Middleton against Green. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Green's got 8.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against Wynn.
Well, this is just another case where being aggressive wins out.
DeMar DeRozan. He's checked in for San Antonio. Bledsoe comes in for Patty Mills. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Paul kicks to Harden. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one on DeRozan.
Well, he's almost obsessed with drawing contact and getting to the line, and Harden has an endless number of ways to do it. And if James Harden has one signature move, it's got to be his step-back jumper, something he's worked on for years. And like the sky hook or Nowitzki's fadeaway, it's becoming one of those iconic, unstoppable shots.
2 shots. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. And Chris, you look at Harden's step back, there's a real different rhythm to it, isn't there?
I mean, he covers a lot of ground with that gather step. I mean, some fans even wonder if it's a travel. But I guess it's legal. Tremendous footwork crafted over countless reps in the gym.
And both free throws good for James Harden.
And it's clear that the Beard is a special player, a clutch performer. He loves to play the game of basketball.
Timeout.
San Antonio calls timeout. NBA rosters are turning over faster, it seems, these days. Chris, how much do former teammates know about defending one another? Or is it a non-issue?
Oh, no, it's more than a non-issue, Kevin. You were right in your assumption that, listen, the former teammates, they have a little more inside information. And you know why it matters? Because every day after practice, you know, the first thing guys do after they get their water, they play one-on-one. So you understand guys' tendencies. You learn how they get into a rhythm. We're all creatures of habit. Let's remember what Kevin Durant did. Remember how he came down on the same end of the floor in the finals and hit the same tough shot over the extended hand that he did? Well, if you notice, he did that on his crossover, that right to left setup. And so if you know him, you may know that he's going to do that. And also, you may know that he has a counter just in case. It allows you to keep your hand out the cookie jar, not to gamble. It gives you an educated guess on maybe what some of the greatest offensive players in the world are going to go to next to get that bucket. Any piece of information matters. And yeah, if you've been practicing against them, that's a good thing.
Now here's Middleton. Harden missing his last shot. San Antonio again turning it over. Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. Paul kicks to Chris. Harden against DeRozan. Harden gets the bucket. Harden's got 6.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Bledsoe dishes to Middleton. Right side Gasol. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Bledsoe against Paul. Tipped away. Paul with the steal. Back to Green. And Green slams it in.
Terrific defensive instinct. I mean, Paul, remarkable at realizing when to go after the steal.
Bledsoe kicks to Pirtle. Middleton against Green. The pass to Gasol. Shot clock at 6. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him.
And with that basket, he's able to end a 10-0 run by the Rockets.
And the Spurs now in the post-Kawhi Leonard era of the franchise. Greg, how do they recover, do you think?
If any team can survive losing a player of Kawhi's caliber, it's got to be the Spurs. They have good depth, got a good return in the trade, and players will step up. Won't be the power they once were for a while, but they'll rebound in no time.
Free throw drops for Gasol.
And Gasol is a guy who can do a multitude of things well. I mean, he scores it, rebounds it, passes it, just an all-around talent.
Now here's Paul. He picked up 15 points in their last win against the Heat in Miami.
Yeah, but it wasn't all about himself. He also did a great job at creating for his teammates. So many assists tonight.
Whoa, he really got his defender on his heels on that one. What a fantastic play, guys.
Bledsoe kicks to DeRozan. Pass to Gasol. He dishes it to Pirtle. Over Anthony. And all around the rim that time before dropping in.
When Pirtle gets the rock deep inside, the D is toast. Can't allow him to get comfortable from there.
Green passes to Harden. Paul outside. It's good. The assist that time from Harden. 11 points for Chris Paul.
He keeps working on the three-point line. I mean, that's his 3rd triple of the game. First in the quarter.
Bledsoe kicks to DeRozan. Passes to Gasol. Over Chris. And good. He got the English that time as it falls. Gasol's got 5.
And Gasol excels from that mid-range area. If you leave him open from there, you're going to pay the price.
Paul finds Harden. Fires from the wing. Chris tipped back in for 2. Chris has got his 2nd basket of the night.
He makes so many hustle plays, and here he's working the offensive glass for the tip-in.
Bledsoe passes to Middleton. Gasol with it. Working on Chris. And here's Bledsoe over Paul. No good from Bledsoe. Anthony down low. Defended by Middleton. Harden kicks to Green. Bledsoe against Paul. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jakob Poeltl. That's foul number 2 for him.
He better watch it. He doesn't want to pick up a 3rd foul before halftime.
Houston making a switch here. Knight's checked in. And San Antonio also making a switch. Walker's checked in. San Antonio on defense. Here's Anthony. Doesn't get it to drop for him. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Middleton for 3. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. 6 points for Chris Middleton.
There's no lack of aggression on his part. When he's got the chance to score, he'll take it.
Walker against Harden.
He's trying to help him add to this lead, but he just can't find his touch.
And DeRozan kicks to Walker. And again, it's San Antonio with a three. And here's Knight. He'll bring it up for the Houston Rockets. Outside, Green. Pass to Carmelo. Stolen by Middleton. And here's DeRozan. And finished off by DeRozan.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case. It looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Fellas, that's just like it's supposed to work. Don't give the D a chance to set up.
Clint Capella, he's checked in for Green. Spurs trail by 14. Bledsoe outside. Goes up at the stripe. Knight grabs the board.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
Now, that was a sensational feed. He hit him right on the move.
San Antonio's gotten both of their three-point attempts to go down here in the second quarter. DeRozan finds Gasol. And the pass to Middleton. Back to Gasol. It's rebounded by Houston. Capella's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Harden scanning the floor.
And Clint Capella, born in Switzerland, his mother immigrating from the Congo. Growing up poor, Clint lived in a welfare orphanage from age 6 up to 13. I mean, those were tough times, but he said it helped prepare him for where he is now.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one. Nene, he's checked in for Houston. P.J. Tucker comes in for Carmelo Anthony. The Spurs also changing it up. Davis Bertans checks in for Chris Middleton. Bellinelli comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Mills in for Eric Bledsoe. And both free throws good for James Harden.
Well, finally, he's getting himself to the line. He's gotten much more aggressive as the game is going on.
Mills passes to Gasol. He kicks it to Bellinelli. Back to Gasol. Pass to Walker. Now Mills. 6 to shoot. Now here's Bellinelli. Guarded by Tucker. Bellinelli gets the bucket.
That was big because they dug a big hole in the first quarter, but starting to show signs of life.
Capella finds Harden. Back to Capella. The rebound by the Spurs.
A highlight reel play all the way, just can't connect.
Well, a good attempt to try to finish that alley-oop steal, though. Still should have went for something better than that, though.
It's stolen by Bellinelli. Here's Bertans. Up and in, off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field. Rockets leading by 14. Harden outside. Rejected by Gasol.
And really, Gasol does an incredible job getting his hands up in the air, which results in a ton of rejection.
Wow, he's really been dragging them down tonight.
And Tucker kicks to Capella. 3-pointer. Harden's shot is off.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know if he can just break through this cold streak, he can give you what you need.
Now here's Mills. 6 points for him. Clock at 6. Bellinelli with the 3. Knocks down the 3 ball. Bellinelli's got 7 points for the quarter.
He's finally coming around, trying to make up for that goose egg he put up in the first quarter.
Harden with it. He's picked up by Walker. Harden kicks to Capella. There's 45 seconds left in the first half. That's good, and he's now 3 for 4 from the field.
Got to be more forceful than that when guarding Capella. I mean, he fends off defenders with such ease.
Gasol passes to Walker. Now, here's Tucker. Not a lot of room. There's the steal. Bellinelli dishes to Walker. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
Yeah, they've raised their shooting percentage in this quarter, and they're starting to get on track.
Harden against Walker. Now, here is Harden. He had a 39-point outing in their last game against the Heat in Miami.
And that didn't come at the cost of his defense. In fact, I think it fed his defense. He had 4 steals in that game.
From deep three-point range, and that one released in time, but no good. And so it's Houston with a 10-point lead. Some breathing room heading into the break. They've had active hands and have forced a lot of turnovers in this one. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Greg Popovich. Pop, what do you think was the main issue during the first half?
We didn't make shots.
Thank you for that insightful analysis, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, it's good to have you back. You're watching the 2K Sports Halftime Show. This right here is Kenny the Jet Smith. This right here is Shaquille O'Neal. Me, I'm just Ernie. Chris Paul had a huge first quarter. He had 11 points, 2 steals, and 2 assists. What'd you think, Shaq, about the first half we saw from the Rockets?
Well, I like it, Ernie, because they're just not settling for outside shots. You know, that part of the game is pretty when it's going in. We've seen plenty of teams try that and fail. Got to have a balanced approach. And tonight, they found a ton of success inside. Basketball and championships are won inside out. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about the Spurs?
They're being far less aggressive than they ought to be. The free throw differential is huge right now. It's threatening to determine the outcome of the game. So they have to get into the lane and challenge defenders to make them try to stop you.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks for joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
Welcome back to the Toyota Center, everyone. That's a look at our broadcast location tonight here in downtown Houston, Texas. And for those of you just tuning in, thanks for being with us. The second half of this game still to play. It's been a clinic by Chris Paul.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him, a scoring machine here in that first half.
Oh, well, he's a tricky cover. He does a good job of sensing the defense, making the right move at the right time.
And happy you could join us. We've got 2 quarters left to go in regulation. And so it's Bledsoe. He brings it up for the San Antonio Spurs, trailing by 10. Here's who Greg Popovich is starting in the second half. DeRozan out there at Bledsoe. Then it's Pau Gasol. Then it's Chris Middleton. And it's Bertans in at the 4 spot. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. And we'll get a look here where the shots have been coming from for him.
And this is a bit of a nightmare game for him thus far. Just nothing working, and it has to be affecting his confidence. He just doesn't look like the player he normally is out there, and you can see it in his body language after every missed shot. Boy, this is tough.
The first one falls, and the dunk is always the king of the highlight reel. We know it comes easy if you're 6'10", or bigger, but Chris, there are little guys who can get up there and slam it down hard too.
Well, I tell you what, Westbrook absolutely scares me when he dunks the ball because Westbrook thinks he's 7 foot tall and tries to dunk like it every time. So I love watching him attack the rim. And how about Dennis Smith Jr.? His miss in the dunk contest last year was one of the most exciting dunks I've seen in a long time.
It was.
Eric Bledsoe, Terry Rozier. These guys, they attack the rim fearlessly, and they're going to posterize you if you're a big fella and sleeping on their hops.
Here's Bertans. There's the triple. It's rebounded by Houston. Capella's got 5 rebounds tonight. Middleton against Anthony. Dishes it to Paul. Anthony against Middleton. Just 5 on the clock. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Anthony's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
And love the muscle Anthony brings to the 3 spot. Takes pride in outworking everyone when he's that deep inside.
Now here's DeRozan. And the dunk by DeRozan.
Well, it's been a steady game for him, but he hasn't done enough to keep them from falling behind.
Houston leading by 12. Paul with the ball. Now guarded by Bledsoe. Paul finds Capella. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, since the rise of the Warriors, we've seen a fair amount of soul-searching by the league's other contenders. There is incredible pressure to shake things up. Now, sometimes it can elevate a team, but we have often seen it also can tear a team apart.
It can be fragile for sure. David, thank you so much.
Well, it's nice to have an option like him every time down the court.
As many expected him to, Carmelo Anthony choosing to opt into his contract, but his stay in Oklahoma City still came to an end.
You know, it was pretty clear that Melo and the team just didn't mesh. OKC made the choice to let him go and save on the luxury tax. Melo might not be worth max money anymore, but he could still be a factor with this team.
That's good from Anthony. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Paul against Bledsoe. Fires the 3. The Rockets pull it in. Capella's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
How's that for a start? Good on all 3 attempts so far in the second half.
And Chris Paul picks up the foul. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Spurs making a switch here. Hurdle's checked in. Here's Bertans. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. And Middleton kicks to DeRozan. That one falls through. It's his 6th make from the floor this game, now 6 for 10.
And you want to talk about high-volume scores, just look at what DeRozan's doing tonight. He's been on a mission, putting his mark on this game in a big way.
Now, here is Harden. 15 points in the game, and he recovers it. They retain possession, and it's put back up and in by Capella.
And the massive wingspan of Capella, excels at using it to gobble up misses at a high rate.
San Antonio calls timeout.
And the talk in their huddle is going to be about taking care of the basketball. Their turnover numbers are terrible.
A moment now to see the numbers for Capella. A strong stretch of play the last 10 games. 4th in rebounding, 7th in blocks, and he's as opportunistic as anybody defensively, ranking among the top 15 league-wide in steals per game.
And he's so explosive, so hungry. You really can't keep him off the glass when he wants to get there. That's why he's top 5 in rebounding. Now here's DeRozan. 12 points for him. He gets that one.
He's one of the guys having a solid game for them, but as a whole, they've been lacking.
Harden outside. Third quarter action, and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Here's Anthony. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Carmelo Anthony, one of the most formidable scorers ever. Top 20 in points all time in NBA history.
And when you think about Melo's scoring back to the basket, facing up, so versatile as a scorer.
A combination of strength, quickness, and touch that you rarely see. He can go around you, through you, or shoot it right over you.
That free throw good from Anthony.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
Gerald Green, he's checked in for the Rockets. Both free throws good from Anthony.
Well, Kevin, the Western Conference Finals, I mean, the Rockets had the Warriors right where they wanted them. But due to the injury of Chris Paul, I mean, they helped open the door for the Dubs, but you got to play who's in front of you, and they won the last 2 games to take the series.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by DeRozan. And let's take a second to view a list of shooting guards who have been very dependable offensively this season. These 2 guards are the most accurate in the league. 5th best, DeMar DeRozan.
You know, just ask this group. Sometimes when you're hot, you're hot. And it's a comforting feeling for a coach to know you've got one of those guys roaming on the perimeter.
Yeah, Greg, and with their range, they stretch out opposing defenses. So even when they're not shooting threes well, they're still making an impact.
And had they advanced to the finals, Chris, the Rockets would have been favored. Is it hard to bounce back when you felt so close to winning a title?
It can haunt you, but it also inspires you because you know there's things you can work on and you can get right back. I mean, winning a title this year should go a long way towards soothing that pain.
2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. Both free throws good from Green. And the Rockets with a big summer and back with a vengeance in pursuit of an elusive title.
Don't count them out. If they can control Chris Paul's minutes, try to keep him healthy for the playoffs, if they're 100%, they can beat anyone.
Now here's Bledsoe. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
And it's Green with the jam.
Those passes into the paint have to be precise, just like that one.
And so it's Bledsoe. He brings it up for the San Antonio Spurs. Outside DeRozan. Pirtle with the ball. Passes it to Bertans. 6 on the shot clock, and the shot is good.
I'm sure he loves that matchup. He gives him a big size advantage down low.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
1 shot.
Houston leading by 19. Paul passes to Capella. Now here's Green. And it's Green slamming it down.
And guys, that's not as easy as he made it look. You've got to have some skills to pull that off.
Well, he's got plenty of those, that's for sure. And that last replay, courtesy of the Under Armour Hover Havoc, unleashing a little bit of chaos. So it's the Spurs now. The Rockets making the shot. Pirtle kicks to Bertans. Outside for Bledsoe. Connects from three-point range. Bledsoe's got himself on the board with 3 there.
He can be a forgotten man in their offense sometimes, but the D still has to keep an eye on him.
Paul outside, fires for 3. And Pirtle pulls it down. Pirtle's got 5 rebounds tonight. DeRozan, a shot off that time. Great D that time from Green. Paul against Bledsoe. Green kicks to Paul. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. Green's got 3 assists tonight.
Yeah, how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
Now here's Bledsoe. They count on his contributions, currently providing 16.5 points a game. Here's DeRozan. And he overshot that one, missing. Rockets leading by 21. Paul outside. Lob pass to Capella. And it's sent back by Bledsoe. Middleton for 3. Green with the rebound. Green's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Anthony finds Green. Paul outside. Pass to Anthony. Just 5 on the clock. There's the triple. Bertans grabs the board. DeRozan in the corner. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. DeRozan's got 16 points.
He's giving them a nice lift this quarter. The shots are falling.
The Rockets have gone 7 of 12 from the floor since coming out of the break. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets. So for the Rockets, Nene, he's checked in for Clint Capella. P.J. Tucker comes in for Marquise Chris. And it's Ennis in for Carmelo Anthony. Then for the Spurs, Bellinelli, he's checked in for Davis Bertans. Bryn Forbes comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Mills in for Eric Bledsoe.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
Bellinelli passes to Mills. Pirtle dishes to Mills. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, 8 points for him. Houston leading by 17. Paul outside. Fires from deep. That's in for his 5th make of the night. Now shooting at a 50% clip, 5 for 10.
Second 3-pointer of the second half. 5 overall. He's killing it from long range.
And Mills kicks to Bellinelli. The pass to Forbes. Pass to Mills. Over Paul. And that one hits back iron.
Not easy to miss a clean look inside like that, but he manages to do it.
Ennis in the corner. No good on the 3. Spurs trail by 20. Down low, 6 feet out. Shots good by Mills. Mills has got 4 points now in the quarter.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
Now here's Paul, covered by Mills. Plenty of daylight on that shot. Green's got 18 points in the game.
Oh, Chris Paul, one of the best ever at running on offense and getting his teammates involved.
Now here's Mills, defended by Paul. Mills finds Bellinelli. Bertle, the pass to Bellinelli. Nice jump shot from the top of the key.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
And so Green will bring it up for the Houston Rockets. 22 is their biggest lead. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in town for the next one. And that will be the middle game of this 3-game homestand. Now here's Mills. 10 points for him. The rejection by Paul.
All right, he's known for his steals, but Paul can mix it up in a block here and there.
And so far, going for more of an inside presence here in the second half, getting away from the three-point shot.
Kicks it to Ennis. Stolen by Middleton. Passes it to Mills. Good, and the assist goes to Middleton. Middleton's got 3 assists in the game. 1:30 left to play here in the third.
And Chris Middleton, 2 seasons ago, tore his hamstring completely off the bone. I mean, he's come back and hasn't missed a beat. One of the most well-rounded players you'll see.
Now here's Nene. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Another miss by Houston. Here is Forbes, guarded by Green. Bellinelli gets the bucket. And Chris Middleton with maybe, Greg, his best season yet in 2017-18.
It just seems like he gets better every year. A former second-round pick, now all-star caliber. He's worked extremely hard, stayed in the lab, and now we're seeing the results.
Now here's Mills, following the shot by Chris Paul. 36 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. 5 on the clock. Here's Bellinelli. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. We've got 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Ennis. From down in the low post, it goes. Ennis has got his 3rd basket of the night.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
That one good for 2. And that's 10 points for Chris Middleton.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Houston on top, up by 12. And after a quick break, we're going to come right back with the start of the fourth quarter. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
No, it's quick decision making. You see a guy open, you can't hesitate. That's an outstanding play right there.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. Rockets leading by 12. Paul and Harden are the incredible backcourt duo. Ennis out there with P.J. Tucker. Then it's Nene in at the 5. That's the 5 for Houston right now. The putback, it's good on the putback.
That is really good work there on the offensive glass.
And for the Spurs, they're shooting straight 49% from the field. And Mills kicks to Gasol. And the wide open shot from Bellinelli. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol.
And that gives him 2 3-pointers for the game, 1 in each half. I mean, he may add to that total pretty soon.
Here is Harden. Nails the wide open jump shot.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Oh, yeah, up by double digits. They're trying to keep the momentum, keep the foot on the neck. That's his focus right now.
Now, here's Walker. Back to Mills. 5 to shoot. Here's the 3. Not going to go that time. And it's Houston the other way. 22 is their biggest lead.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And a good read right there by Paul. Great at carving out space close to the rim and capitalizing.
Walker finds Mills. Back to Walker. There's the triple. Can't hit that one.
It's only a matter of time until his three-point shot comes back to him. I mean, he knocked down 2 threes before halftime. Nothing so far here in the second.
Harden outside. And some nice passing there by Houston. Off target from outside. Spurs trail by 15. Mills looking it over. Now the dish to Pirtle. Mills passes to Walker. From deep, and they force the shot clock violation. Great D. And a look now at the San Antonio Spurs' upcoming schedule. On Wednesday, they'll be taking on Paul Millsap and the Denver Nuggets. And then on Friday, they'll be playing against Lou Williams and the Los Angeles Clippers.
And that game against the Clippers, it's going to be an all-out battle. And you just hope they are rested and able to execute their game plan, as it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
And it's in there.
Like seeing Paul be aggressive. He still has the quickness to get that done.
And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for San Antonio, trailing by 17. Around 3 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Now Mills gets it to go from beyond the arc.
I mean, logs his first 3 of the second half after nailing 2 in the first. They don't want to let this fella get going.
Timeout called, the Rockets. Houston making some changes. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Nene. Chris comes in for P.J. Tucker. And Anthony subbed in for Ennis. San Antonio also making some changes. Bertanis, he's checked in for Jakob Poeltl. DeMar DeRozan comes in for Marco Bellinelli. And it's Eric Bledsoe in for Patty Mills. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Mike D'Antoni was talking about with his team. He told them the lead we've got is good, but we can be better. Take it to them. Stay on the accelerator. Looks like he wants them to keep pushing it, guys.
He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
He lives for these type of battles on the boards. It doesn't matter which end of the floor it is either.
One shot.
And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Bledsoe against Paul. Over Bledsoe, and that one off the back of the rim and in. 23 points for Chris Paul.
The veteran showing some energy. What has gotten into Paul tonight?
Bledsoe kicks to DeRozan. Pass to Gasol. Bledsoe outside. The pass to Walker. Knocked loose. Shot clock at 3. That one doesn't drop. Good work defensively by Harden. Shoots over DeRozan. That one wide left.
Yeah, that's just poor decision making. He's got to be better in those situations.
I'd love to hear his explanation of coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation. I mean, this D is a joke. It's way too passive. They got to get a body on him when he's on his way to the bucket.
Capella kicks to Harden. Trying to find Capella, gets it to him. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
Leaping off the ground with such ease. Capella is exceptional with timing. How to finish these alley-oops.
And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good. For a long time, beat writers and media personnel have determined NBA awards. C-Webb, as someone who's been up for some of these, do you feel the voting system as structured now is fair?
I don't know how it can be fair if it doesn't have any players or coaches involved. I can't necessarily vote on the best doctors because I don't know what it entails, but I can definitely trust other doctors to give their comments on their peers. I think peer awareness is some of the most reliable that you can go for. But, we have some very knowledgeable writers, sports writers, and media personnel that know. But for the most part, you need help of the players and the coaches to make sure that the integrity is there.
He's feeling it. Paul can't get it to go.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Well, I like the decision-making, though. That's a shot you want to keep taking.
Now here's Anthony. He dishes it to Harden. He kicks it to Capella. Paul outside. Pass to Anthony. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 6 assists here tonight. Bledsoe finds DeRozan. Spurs passing it around. Off target with his 3. Rockets leading by 15. Anthony, the pass to Paul. And here is Capella. Dishes to Harden. Offline with his 3.
His three-point game hasn't been there for him today, but don't sleep on him. At any moment, he could get his touch back. That was all about the assist. Great pass to set up the shot.
Ball against Bledsoe. Paul is doubled. Harden kicks to Anthony. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Shooting for Houston, Carmelo Anthony. At the line for 2.
He misses the free throw.
And just a better job of getting to the line here in the second half. Didn't get there once in the first.
Chris Middleton's checked in for the Spurs. And he's good on the second. Now here's Bledsoe. DeRozan on the wing. Over Paul. The Rockets pull it in.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be
firmly in the driver's seat.
Capella kicks to Harden. Bledsoe against Paul. And Harden with the stuff.
And how about the communication between teammates on that alley-oop?
And that's what you need to pull that thing off. Middleton outside. Oh, the lob to DeRozan. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Harden inside the three-point line. Tipped away. Paul against Bledsoe. Shot clock at 5. Paul finds Harden. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. 22 points for James Harden.
And it's looking like he got his long-range touchback after the break. I mean, that's his second 3 of the half after none in the first.
To the middle, here's Anthony. Banked in off the glass. And the Rockets lead by 21.
Strange game for him. Barely made any noise in the first half, and here in the second, he's been everywhere.
Bledsoe against Paul. They need this. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Chris Paul picks up that one. You know, the NBA has cracked down on flopping. It's still part of the game, but C-Webb, would you agree that progress has been made in that area?
Yeah, I think so, and I'd like to blame a lot of my European players for bringing that over along with soccer. Soccer with the flopping and that, and we've kind of taken away. And I know a little bit about flopping. We had some floppers on my Sacramento team, and so flopping is frustrating. You don't want to see that. You want to see guys earn it. This isn't soccer or football, and so I think the league has done a very good job, whether it was trying to find guys early or just embarrass you and say, hey, you're shacking a fool. Get up right now. No one touched you. Why did you flop or act like you were hit and move 10 feet back on the side? Right. I hate flopping. But then again, you must embellish. You must be a good actor. You've got to put the referees in a tough position to make a good call. How do you find that balance? But I think the NBA has done a good job of making sure that it isn't encouraged and isn't rewarded.
And they came out of the locker room after halftime with a much more physical approach than what we saw in that first half.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff. Down low, here's DeRozan, and it's good, 2 points. DeRozan's got 14 points here in the second half.
Oh, that's the goal every trip. Get the good look from close range.
Harden kicks to Anthony. Back to Harden. Last year, the NBA moved the trade deadline to before the All-Star break, C-Webb. Did you like that decision?
It caused teams to make trade decisions much sooner, and I like that. But I don't like the fact that maybe if, let's say, I'm a fan of Utah Jazz and you trade the player that we love so much and he's an all-star and I can't root for him as a Utah Jazz fan. So as a fan, it gets a little bit tricky because that's still my player and I want to celebrate with this guy at the All-Star break, but maybe I can't. But I think that what it does is it makes the teams much more competitive because no longer can you sit back and wait and have the time you could before to think as much as you could. Now you have to make a decision on who your team is, the identity, and do you want to get better now or take the risk now? And I think it's put some teams on the hot seat, and I like seeing teams on the hot seat having to make decisions quickly.
Two.
That free throw good from Harden. And so he hits both. Bledsoe with it. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Gasol looking around, pass to Bertans. And it's Marquise Chris with the foul. That's his 4th foul of the contest. Some call it the Ewing theory, teams that play better without relying on a star player. But Chris, how sustainable is that?
It's not sustainable. It's real cute until you have the teams that are focused and want to win come in. And usually that Ewing theory, that's usually like in the 5th week of the season or before All-Star break when teams are figuring out themselves. Once everybody has identified their strength and their weaknesses, you need that horse to ride. You need that big hoss in there, that guy that's dependable every night. And as long as he's a willing passer, unselfish player, no, you need those guys. I don't believe that teams are better without their main guy. Maybe for short stretches, players can rally, but you look at championship winners. I'm trying to think of one that didn't have a superstar on their roster. I just don't buy into that theory.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Houston.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And you can mark this one down in the W column. It'll mark their 23rd of the season.
And they've put themselves into the driver's seat in regards to the season series with this team. Tonight's win will give them a 2-1 edge with only one left to play.
And guys, one of the steady and outstanding players putting in another impressive performance, it was a big-time outing for Chris Paul.
Well, anytime the offense ran through him, good things happened. His passing was awesome. He created a bunch of good looks for everyone else out there.
Brandon Knight, he's checked in for Houston. Free throw good, James Harden. It's been a few years now since rules were put into place to curb the hack-a-shack strategy. See, Webb, you think the NBA made the right choice in discouraging that style, that tactic?
You know, Kev, I'm torn on this one. I don't think so. I do think that the game would have gotten ugly, the pace would have gotten bad, but I think it would have been only a couple of years as players would have been embarrassed enough to improve their game. As I travel to different places, the one thing that's the difference between the United States and other places they can shoot free throws. Other places they just aren't at the park dunking or hanging on the rim. They're actually shooting shots and skill sets and dribbling. You know, I was at one time a terrible free throw shooter, and the embarrassment of not making them, missing them late in the games, not being able to be there for your team the way you want to, oh, trust me, it's no better motivation than that. Not giving me a handicap and a crutch saying, oh, don't do it. I don't like the fact that they've tried to place a curb on the hack-a-shack strategy. My thing is get you in the gym in the offseason and make some free throws.
Hits it from three-point range.
And Bellinelli is so talented, a team player who really whips the ball over to his teammates.
So we see the Rockets taking the win here. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. Chris, big win tonight. What do you think was the biggest factor?
I mean, I don't know. You know, it was just our defense. You know, obviously our offense fed off of it. Guys made open shots, but I think we really locked down defensively, and that's what we're trying to make sure is that we're a defensive team every night.
Well, you were a defensive team tonight, Chris. Thanks for your time. Kevin?
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you later.